What's going on, my YouTube family? I'm back. It's Brando. It's Boss Brando at that. I appreciate y'all for rocking out with me, supporting me on this journey so far. Got so much longer to go, so much more knowledge to exchange with y'all and get y'all. Y'all know I'm always coming at y'all with another topic, another video, coming at y'all to the round table with some more knowledge and wisdom and giving y'all some intrusive thoughts that y'all can pick from and, gain some more knowledge out of my book, and I can exchange and, y'all can apply it to everyday life and use it, hopefully, where y'all can excel and grow just as much as I would want you to, and I would like to as well every day. So, today's topic definitely going to be entitlement. I feel like it's something that's kind of washed under the rug, don't really get talked about and spoken on as much, whether it's the media, whether it's in person, whether it's doing vlogging, whether it may be YouTube, whatever. I feel like it's a topic that definitely needs to be talked about, and it's just everyday issue. A lot of people suffer with this, whether it's just a mentality or some form of ego or mentality that you raised upon. But me personally, I would encourage you to never feel entitled. Never feel entitled to whatever a person may have or what you think they may owe you. You never want to look at another person's lifestyle or what they got going on and feel like, that should be mine or they owe me something, and honestly, even if it's a person that you help get to where they at, and the reason why I say this is because no one owes you anything. I feel like me personally, every day I wake up with the mindset that no one owes me something. An entitled person is usually someone that acts out of a lazy character. So that's somebody that you can see that, that for the most part, they're always waiting for a handout, or they're looking on their next come up based on another person. They never really out there trying to go get it. They never really focused on what can they do to better themselves or put themselves in another position, or they never really, asking God how. They're looking at another person's performance or mentality or their inheritance or whatever they may have, and looking at it like, that should be me, and that creates jealousy and envy as well. So, entitlement is a no-no. That's something that we need to break. I feel like I encourage whoever may have that type of spirit to separate themselves from that. Pray on it if you haven't. Definitely, make sure that you have that type of mentality where you got that aspect of not entitlement, but you know what's yours, and you know what you're willing to work for, and what's for you is for you, and what's not is not. But when you got the entitlement aspect, you always going to be looking forward to what another person can do and what another person owed you and what another person going to give you. Usually in my book and what I look at and how I look at life is nothing comes to a person with their hand out but a dream. So whenever you got your hand out and you're looking for something, usually it stays empty. Not saying nobody can't do nothing for you or help you out along the way of life, because we all need help. No one is perfect, unless you're just born with a lifestyle that's a silver spoon full of wealth. Some have it like that, very few, but I didn't have it like that. But me personally, the way I operate, and which I encourage a lot of you all, is I'm always looking for a new opportunity. I'm always trying to get it on my own. I was always raised to be a hustler and make it happen, And sometimes, you don't get me wrong, with that type of mentality, that can be stressful because, we can take on a little too much. And sometimes God can sit you down and humble you and keep you in a position of humility and righteousness, because sometimes when things don't work out and you're so used to doing it and getting on your own and making things happen and planning businesses and, whatever it may be doing, paying for bills. Some of y'all might have children like me. I'm trying to start so much of my life on my own with little to no help. That is stressful. So sometimes, you gotta kind of lay back, and you will need some assistance, but nothing is promised. I understand that. So, with the relationships of people that I do have that may know some things, I don't use these people. What I can say is if they're willing to help, that's fine. If not, that's cool too. But I never look at nobody's lifestyle. I never feel entitled to nobody around me. I never feel like nobody owe me nothing, whether it's my mother, my father, cousins, aunts, uncles, whoever. I'm sorry. I never look at nobody in my family like, or outside my family, should I say, friends, whoever. I never look at nobody like, whatever you got, I need a piece of that, or I helped you get it, that should be mine too. Because if I was to sit here on this camera and break down a lot of the things that I've done for people, And they know who they are. If I was to break down everything that I've done for people, then I'd probably be talking for hours, probably days, who knows. And I act out of the spirit of kindness and generosity, and don't get me wrong, sometimes I've been generous to the wrong people, and I learned that along the way after the fact, and that's who I've separated from. And it's nothing wrong with kind of dividing yourself from a spirit of unequally yoked people. There's nothing wrong with that. So don't make sure you got to know the difference too. Sometimes we caught up in giving so much and doing so much and helping others when we want to see people win, because I love it when people win. That's one thing about me. So that separates me from that spirit of entitlement. I like it when people shine and successful, whether I know you or not. When you win, if I feel like I can win even more, and I push people to go harder, especially when you're doing something that's righteous, positive, you chasing your dreams, you're doing what God calls you to do, you helping feed your family, whatever it may be. That's what I encourage. And anybody that know me, they could really testify that I don't need anybody to do it, but God knows my heart. And as I said once again, what's for me is for me. But another man's pockets don't fill mine. So with that being said, I'm always go get it on my own, regardless. God gonna open up the gates of heaven. He gonna open up, financial success. Of course, mentally we got to be prepared, and mental health comes first, physical health comes first. So in every way of life, I will prosper, and I understand that, and that's the end goal. And I encourage you all to do the same. But never let the spirit and the mentality and the act of entitlement overcome, or should I say overthrow you, because that will derail you on your journey of life. No one owes you anything. We like I said once again, I know it's hard because sometimes you can't get caught up in helping others, and you might feel like, okay, you helped that person start the business, or you might help somebody get a record deal. You might have told them or suggested them a song or a topic, and that song might blow up, and that's how they get signed. I've been the one to connect people with DJs. I've been the one to tell people about studios that just open, producers. I've been the one to tell people about graphic designers. I've done a lot of things to people. So like I said, if I was to call these people out by name and tell them and say exactly what I've done, and help them, which has helped some of these people become successful, don't get me wrong, that would be more of, should I say, of a cocky standpoint. That would be more of a boastful standpoint, and it would lead to you guys, should I say, looking at it like I want something in return, and God doesn't want any of us to operate like that. That's not me, In a lot of cases, we see a lot of people that may have distance between them, that may have been once, relatives that may have been once closely aligned, or even friends and business partners or whatever, and once they fall out, you'll see the entitlement or the jealousy when they bring up these things, and I see a lot of people that they do that. They've done that a lot. They do that a lot, shall I say. We see that in today's society where, a person, like I said, once again, they may help somebody along the way when they might be funding what they're trying to do. And this person might be at their lowest, and, they might be working a job, or, they might be doing whatever they be doing to get money. And you might really already have it. So let's say a person might already, they got the vision, and this ain't your vision, but they want to open this company up. And you might have money, you might have connections, credit, whatever, and you will put these people in position and give them a little money, or you might tell them about the financial aspect of what they need to do, the credit they need, the business aspects, connecting with business partners they need to get to where they go. And, once they get in position with more equitable aspects of life, God put them in a financial aspect where they're more blessed and they can fund what they're trying to do, they'll, of course, become more successful. Now, you'll be looking at, okay, why they ain't reach back out for me? And, don't get it twisted. Some people, money does change people. I ain't saying it don't. Opportunities change people. Life change, As life change, things change, and people change. So we got to understand that. But I still encourage people not to feel entitled, because, whether you in the right or the wrong, that will show. But the entitlement is wrong. If you're going to do something for somebody, you're going to do it out of grace and love and honor. regardless of who it may be. Now, business is business. Don't get that twisted, and that should be discussed, I'm assuming, legally for most people, and you should always have a legal counterpart and on both parties to, have that discussed on a legal counsel, where it's an equal share of a company or a percentage of what a person may owe you for investing in them or whatever it may be. If it's a share profit, a percentage, that's different. That's another topic. But if you're talking about just helping somebody get somewhere or get on their feet, get an apartment, fund a business, get a car, even connections, even something simple as a phone number, whatever it might be, that could change somebody's life. You never know, the smallest thing. And like I said, I'm willing to do it. I've done it. And a lot of people actually, I notice, come to me for favors, or they come to me for advice and things like that. And I don't mind, because I know that, I don't do it out of looking for something in return. That's not me. So, but never feel entitled, like I said, because I always remember, when you got your hand out, that's just how it's going to be. You're going to be looking stuck, and I'm not the type of person. I just wasn't raised like that. I was always raised to go get it, make things happen on your own. A real man standing on his own 2 feet. I never followed behind nobody. I never did that. I never looked for another man to feed me, or a woman as well. I'm always on my own. I'm independent. I do my own thing. So I encourage everybody to act out of the same way. And I'm not saying you're going to always have it all the way together. I'm not saying that, everything just going to fall out the sky and be, dandy and well. And things will be, life will shift and things will, it won't always go your way. But understand, like I said, when you had a purpose and a passion in life, and God knows, He knows our lives before we did, because He shaped us and put us here. When you understand what's for you, when you understand what your mission is, stay persistent, stay humble for one, and just grind. You got to put in the work. Understand that everything take patience. And keep a righteous heart. Those are the ones that go far. Money don't make a man. Man make money. But it's what you do with money. It's what you do with the fame. It's what you do with time. It's what you do with the fortunes and the things that we blessed with on earth. Humility comes first, and I honor that more than a dollar. So a lot of people don't, as I mentioned. Like I said, these opportunities and money do change people. So I can understand why a lot of people kind of, have these different divisions. This ain't me speaking on no particular person, none. It's just from my standpoint on how I see the world, things I've been through. I never really had no follow with nobody over nothing like that, but I've had people mention things on what they've done for me, and I've had people do that, and I'm not that type of guy, so that's just not me. If I do it, I do it. If I don't, I don't. If I can help you, I can. If I can't, I can't. And I will tell you personally, no. There's nothing wrong with telling a person no. If you can't do it, if you don't want to do it, it depends on the situation. And sometimes you got to understand that self-preservation matters most. So, continue to throw into another person's pot, or if you pour into their cup and yours is half empty, eventually you will overflow. And you'll not overflow. Yours will be empty. I'm sorry. So, you got to think about that too. So like I said, and that come back to what I was saying, being too kind and generous. And it is a lot of people that'll see that in you, they'll take advantage. So, you got to understand, have that discernment of deception. A lot of people, they have that. They got the deceptive nature in them. They know how to use and abuse people from what they can get from them, because they don't want to put the work in. They don't want to really grind it out like you. They don't want to go get it like you. They say you with it, so they want to take from what you got. They want to call you every time something go wrong. They want to make things happen off of your plate. They want to eat off of your plate, should I say? So, understand that too. So, it go a lot of different ways with this topic. I know I'm all over the place with it. I'm just, giving a lot of different examples. But like I said, never feel entitled. Understand that. That's my message for today with this one. I'm gonna be at y'all with some more videos. Y'all know I come at y'all with a lot of thoughts, man. A lot of stuff coming soon in the years to come. I don't like putting dates on things, because one thing I can't do is predict life. All I can do is work. Make sure that I do God's will. God got the date on everything. His time stamp is the best time stamp, and that's what I live by. So we gotta be patient. Just stay patient, stay humble. Keep working regardless. Stop comparing yourself. And I got so many different topics. I got so much to flood y'all with. Like I said, y'all know I'm still new to this YouTube, man. I know I be looking at my watch hours and the views, and I can understand why a lot of the views and the watch hours may not be what I would expect. I see the content. I ain't editing it. Y'all gotta forgive me for that. And that's my fault. I will admit. I ain't the best at that. I haven't really perfected that like I want. Nothing is perfect, but should I say I haven't discovered the nature of it. I haven't really, got into that ground of it. I haven't really, really dived into that 100%, should I say, when it comes to content. I've looked at some videos, I've done it, but I feel like the best way is to do it physically, and that's what teach you. So, and I'm a person that I learn things in person as opposed to what another person may be doing or saying or watching their lifestyle on social media and things like that. Not saying we can't learn that from, Google and social media, because it is a lot of ways to learn great dialogue and great information on today's internet and the web and the access we have today. And I use it to my best advantage, but sometimes you got to get out there and do it on your own and get your hands dirty and really dig deep and put the work in. So I don't mind doing that. So like I said, y'all forgive me, man. I'm working. I'm not perfect. I'm only a man. I'm a man of God at that. I'm human. I'm not perfect, just like y'all. No one is perfect. But the content gonna keep overflowing. I'm gonna keep pushing it out. I got a lot of topics in this phone right here, man. I'm adding to them daily. I just added more today. I ain't gonna come at y'all with nothing negative. So if it's something that you may not be used to seeing or you ain't really into, you might want to click off, unsubscribe, go to another channel. But this channel right here gonna be full of knowledge and wisdom, encouragement, enlightenment. I ain't pushing no division, separation, unfruitful works. I ain't really. That's not my goal. That's not my mission. That ain't what I'm put here to do. My duty is to uplift and encourage and inspire. So, and it ain't about always. It's not always. It ain't always about the materialistic things that we have. And sometimes a lot of people get caught up in like, okay, well, how can I watch him and see what he got to be better? Or, a person ain't really inspiring if they ain't got money and jewelry and clothes and cars or the materialistic items and things that we can't take with us when we gone. And that's not true, because I feel like, the most accurate things, the most priceless things that you can't pay for is knowledge, and that comes usually with experience, of course, but another person's life, it can teach you in many ways. And, the power of the tongue is mighty. So, whatever person is preaching, you should always keep your ears open to that, especially when it's mighty and powerful, and it's righteous, because you don't want to stray away from that in this world. In today's age we live in, especially if you're somebody that cares about where you're going in the afterlife eternally, because life is not always about the moment. And a lot of times we get so caught up in living in the moment, we don't look at the future. Me, I'm the type of person, I want to set myself up for generations to come. For when I'm not here, my children can eat. They're successful. They don't have to go through the struggles I went through. And at the same time, I want to understand that I want to be in a place of righteousness and keep my soul uplifted. When I'm gone, the floodgates of heaven can be open for me. So without me doing without me doing the word of God and doing his duty, that won't happen. So I understand my mission. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a pastor. That was never my calling in life. But I was, I would say redirected in a lot of ways to do things and, inspire, as I mentioned, and, use my life and my wisdom and encouragement and my voice more than anything to give people knowledge. And sometimes my voice can give you a voice. You never know. There's so many people that might watch these videos over the years and they'll look back, or some people that may be looking at them for the first time as well. They'll be like, he the one that, gave me the life and the strength to speak up and say things that I never thought I could say. So that's my mission, man. But for y'all that don't know me, that's all. I don't gotta give y'all the 100% rundown. You will see, I'd rather do the action than keep talking on, my wordplay and my, wisdom and knowledge that'll come out throughout these videos instead of me just, telling you my mission. So, you'll be able to see it. But yeah, man, y'all have a great day. Y'all stay righteous out here. It's crazy, this world we living in. Stay with your people. Keep the ones closest to you that mean you the best, and that's gonna give you that's gonna pour into you the most. And when I say pour into you, I don't mean just with what they could do for you. I mean what they can give you spiritually and mentally, because that's what matters most in this day and age. And also do the same. Do great by others, and greater be done to you. So God bless everyone. Have a great day. I'm coming back at y'all with more content. Y'all be blessed.